the need to go for any other pick aside from the prime Dream Witch. I would agree with it. Obviously, Dream Witch with a map like Red.
Into on the broken wall side of the map here. Himawari at the bottom broken, and now 72S is looking for the right survivor to leech at the start. Because again, when it comes to the Dream Witch, he really wants to find the mechanic. I believe that's what he was looking for from the start, just to stop the Cypher Rush, and we get a Half-Life mechanic right off the bat. Or no?
Yeah, I mean, this is like This is like the best case scenario if you're GK's Hunter right now. I'm sorry. Not only does 72S get the best find in mechanic, he also manages to land the mechanic this early on. So this is a huge win for this Dream Witch right now.
That's true, and he does have the doll out, and now the survivors are forced to place the catch here to get that mechanic out of that chair before the hack hits. Now we see the Gravekeeper on the way to try and to save this mechanic. While he's still trying to push those objectives. Lower left side. Now the Gravekeeper, let's see how he will commit. 72 has a very well waited out. Oh, types out a hit. Still waiting. And so the mechanic Tide Turner is in effect.
Yes, sirree. Himawari already trying to establish some distance here. Last effort will pop up, so this will give Himawari a little bit more leeway to add a bit more distance between himself and that rocket there to try to buy at least a bit more time for the rest of 7H here. But man, oh man, this is going to be tricky. Gravekeeper as well will suffer a hit, so that's 2 men down for 7H, and 4 ciphers remaining, and this is going to be tricky for both Priestess Mercenary. They will have to one or another try to respond to this.
They have pushing the pace of this match and he's reaching the rewards. Now we see the Gravekeeper see that first round of that rocket chair. Mechanic is still trying to push those objectives. And I believe the Priestess is making her way to the shack area, maybe trying to go for that Gravekeeper with Graveyard and try to save this mechanic. But she will get leeched in the process. So we have 3 leeched survivors.
Yeah, and I think it's great that 70 made the call to send the Mercenary just so that Mercenary can soak up a bit more of that damage. Probably want to reserve that Priestess for a little later if push comes to shove on the Survivor side. But yeah, this is going to be tricky. Neozateb going to take another hit, and man, 72S just really proactive on all 4 survivors. Himawari will fall along with Gravekeeper once again. That's unfortunate. But yeah, all the stars aligning for 72S.
Real unfortunate on the side of 7HS. As you mentioned, it's all coming together for 72S. Really being able to just control the start of this matchup. 2 ciphers left. I believe this is the third time the mechanic is going to do that. The Gravekeeper is going to pop back up. Oh, well, there are 2 ciphers left. Now the mechanic is both chaired up. Well, we see 2 leech survivors. So it is still a fight, and let's see how 7H will bounce back from this.
Yes, sirree. And what I will say, though, is 7H did a great job at least making sure that 3 ciphers were taken care of. Now, what I'm kind of worried about is what the status are of the rest of the ciphers are, because with the number of seconds that we've had for 7H with what they've been doing on the map so far, I'm kind of worried that these 2 remaining ciphers are still a bit of a way to go for these guys. And a lot of the time that they did kind of need to expend over the past few minutes or so has been geared towards either going for saves or these heals, just to make sure that everybody has a little bit more stamina to work with. Because 7H is going to have a trickier time now that there's 3 survivors remaining. It's going to be so much more manageable for 72S as far as these followers.
Yep, 72S is doing a great job with just removing the priority of Cypher Rush and just healing up and really trying to survive the onslaught that is happening. Either heal up or get the leeches out of them, because now we see no leech survivors. But in terms of resources, we have 2 Half-Life survivors, which are the Gravekeeper and Mercenary, who can't hit. And now the Priestess here, trying to just find some objectives to push while we see the Mercenary limping over there at bottom broken. Now the Gravekeeper trying to sneak his way, trying not to find any of the followers, but the Priestess is going to get leached, and now a Blink is going to used, and the priestess joins her companions in being half-life.
Yeah, really good manage here coming in from 72S. All he pretty much has to do is to make sure to keep the whatever remaining ciphers are there in check, because naturally these survivors are going to want to gravitate towards those ciphers and get them popped and prepped. Here we have a good call from 7H, making sure again to keep the stamina for these survivors, but we'll have to disperse, unfortunately, cancel that out as they are once again spotted by 72S's followers.
7H is doing a really good job buying as much time as possible. They're great people, not able to get into that big state to get that hit. And 72S going to share this Gravekeeper. As I was saying, they are buying a lot of time, but you know what? The attention is spread out in the right places for 72S and his Dream Witch.
Yes, sir. And in all fairness to 7H, they have the right idea here. In any other match, maybe they can risk letting these survivors work with half of their stamina. But when you're up against a Dream Witch, especially when you're with 3 survivors remaining, you want to try to give yourself as much leeway as possible. But here we go. Another hit almost comes in, but luckily they're able to escape. Follower will proceed to chasing Nopumomo here.
Yeah, and that was a great job on the Mercenary side, getting that hit. Now Nopumomo just gaining a lot of the attention of this Dream Witch. And yeah, they have the right idea. It's just that 72S is just so smothering without forcing to change objective. One cipher left. Which one is the one that's prime? I want to find out, and I want to see how he's going to be able to deal with that, because he still hasn't changed from Blink. Usually the Dream Witch will go for that. Oh, wow, excellent call there. Going for that Blink to really snipe out that Mercenary, and now the countdown begins before he falls.
Okay, looking at the map here, in all fairness, the spread isn't that bad for 7H. I like how there's still ciphers within extremes of each other, so it is workable. However, based on how 72S is rotating, the downside is it's a little bit more linear with how 72S needs to transition between ciphers. So that has been a bit of a challenge here for 7H. Mercenary is down right now, and if you notice right here at the bottom left portion of the screen, it does seem that they, you know what, with one cipher remaining, let's try to get one of our members working on that, and maybe, hopefully, with a hope and a prayer, one of our survivors is able to get that save on the Mercenary. Unfortunately, that isn't the case, though. So it's very high risk, high rewards for 7H at this point with what plays they can make.
Yeah, Nino's attempt really trying to push that objective. It is great for 72S. He still has that blink, so he can close out that distance. It's so close. Articuno again, he pops in time before he gets reached. Also, note that the dungeon is in that area. Nino's attempt to stop it, and now we're at the end. 2 survivors, and they managed to get 2 out. That is the best case scenario for 7H.
Yes, sir. And take note, 7H is aware of where that dungeon is. Now, whether or not it's going to come to that, that's a bit of a different question in itself altogether. SPST working on that gate, but ooh, the follower already making her way downtown, but looks like 7H already has the right idea to disperse, not wanting to remain in that area, but it's coming down to the wire, already closing some distance here, this follower on 7H.
SPST really has to buy a lot of time to try to open up the gate. Wow, excellent vault there on SPST's side. We are still seeing that 72S is engaged with this Mercenary. He can't get that one hit before he does fall. So he's buying a lot of time. Lower left screen sees the priestess almost after the time. Drop the pallet. We're going to see another teleport here.
Yes, sir. This is interesting pressure that 72S is pushing. It does seem like he's still banking on hoping to go for these 4 survivors, which is merited. It's great timing that he sent follower up north at the soonest that he can, but unfortunately it won't be enough. Neno Zatab will already make his way out of the good. Question is, can SPST make it out as well to go for that 2 mana? Or wait, no, they actually go for the dungeon!
Yeah, that's why it's the countdown is on, because the Mercenary is slowly bleeding out. Oh my god, now excellent stuff. SPS ready for the end zone, and he gets it. Articuno.
Oh my gosh. Well,
pick, because you know the Bloody Queen has been doing a lot of work for these hunters, these players, in terms of really getting survivors down and getting them back to the manor. So solid pick.
So can pull through for his team and bring it to a 3-1 as we head into the second half of round 1. And let's see, who's he going to spot out?
For you over here at the back exit, trying to hide out. Hanzo smells the survivor here, and he finds the mechanic. All right, let's see if it makes quick work. I was able to see him up the top the doll. This is actually a great start for Hanzo. Shades of what happened to 72S.
Yeah, I mean, what is it with these hunters in this first round and being able to sniff off mechanic right off the bat? But you know what? Good on for you. Mirror image not quite getting the connect just yet. Looks like the switcheroo will just come instead, just so that Hanzo can physically get within distance. But I think this is already a huge win for GK. This mechanic is already buying so much time than you would expect. And not to mention, Foreyu's playing around Graveyard, so this is just going to be an additional extra seconds that he can to buy.
True, but look at that, as you mentioned, mirror image really closing out that distance. Not wanting to play that down the rotating in the Graveyard. You know what, I'm just going to snipe down this mechanic. I know that I bought so much time with it, but let's go. So here we go, Hanzo going for the reception rocket here, just so he gets to have a little more presence in terms of typing out some of these survivors and pushing the Cypher.
Yeah, luckily, the place where this mechanic is dropped off, there's a lot of wide terrain though. So in the midst of a potential save from GK, there's a lot of real estate to just duck and weave. Question is, who will be going on rescue duty? Oh wait, there we go. Skyfall is actually already there, just waiting for the right timing. We'll take a hit before getting mechanic out of that rocket chair. Hanzo though, question for you, can he drop that pallet in time? Looks like just goes for a side step. Second whack doesn't land. Great job by For You here. Pallet will drop, but the last effort unfortunately will come as Hanzo gets that hit.
I love the idea For You going to the Graveyard, because the Graveyard is the best, one of the best places to really kite around with a hunter and just to get him away from that reception area, so that over here lower left side sees the here be able to push that Cypher in the church. And now Hanzo propping up that mirror once again to just stop Cypher rush, while For You is still spending time on that rocket chair.
Yeah, looks like that is gonna be a swipe on one of the puppets, but here we go. The rest of GK already doing some great work here. V8, nice charge here onto Hanzo before going for the rescue on For You. Man, oh man, they're really maximizing the time here.
That forward was really able to buy that rescue a lot of time. Oh, excellent hit once again to just get out that mirror image. And now For You again, rotating the reception just to buy enough time. This mechanic is doing a lot of kiting, and now we're going to see her just buy more time for her teammates to push those objectives. Or left side seems pushing their objective back.
Oh man, For You really maximizing that last life that he has, but you know what? Heavily maximized it is. V8 though doesn't want his companion to go down. Unfortunately misses out by an inch to land some crowd control onto Hanzo, but that's gonna be sayonara to For You for now, but not without leaving a huge legacy for GK. 2 ciphers remaining, not to mention already in great progress.
Just to know that he did change the expectation here, and that's why he get that crowd control. So he is trying to gain that range.
Oh man, off top, going straight here. Looks like we'll try to duck, and we're really working with these ruins here to try to keep Hanzo preoccupied, and so far it's been working greatly. Mirror image will be popped though, no more dilly-dallying. Doesn't want to get pincered though. The switcheroo comes in, and there you go. That is going to be a hit. Great job by Hanzo, but oh nope, that Cypher was just ready for the pop-in, and Sloth Top, he's just going to try to buy more time for the team.
Sloth Top really doing his rounds here at the broken wall side of the map, while you see that the others, Skyfall and Wade, are hightailing out of there in the reception area. We see another down seer, but very dangerous for them to go for that rescue because the hunter now has attention. Now we see Hanzo going for there here. Oh, they go for a 2-2. Flying away from that forward, and Skyfall, again, being denied of his signature mercenary, he will be sticking with that Grave Keeper.
Yes, sirree. And okay, violinist and block off potential kite routes for GK. That could be another problem for GK to deal with. And it's kind of similar to when you're up against a guard 26 where, those structures, once your best friend, suddenly become a detriment because suddenly you don't have escape route options when you're dealing with those AoEs. There you go.
True. And now Knife's out a survivor V8, and now he's going to be playing around with structure again. If you do play violinist, you kind of have to predict the future in terms of where these survivors are going to go, so you can put those notes well placed. Now he puts one down. V8 though, dropping one of the pallets here. Hanzo is focused in downing this forward right off the bat. Actually, in terms of just right away, Sloth Top will be sniped out in the back of the Articuno.
Yeah, I like this transition coming in from Hanzo. It would have been rather tricky if he continued the chase there, since even though there was a lot of structure there, the fact is Hanzo would have to do a lot of roundabouts around that area. So I think this is a good idea to just transition towards who we can find out. It is Sloth Top, in which case Sloth Top looks like going to make his way out of the factory. Will play it in its outer areas. Owl will actually come in though, but man, not until Hanzo could get a hit on that seer first off.
Blocks him off. There is a pallet. Doesn't throw it down. Hanzo down to the seer. Sloth buying a lot of things.
Yeah, I love the positioning of that Sonata though. By restraining Sloth Top in an area where the walls are a bit shorter, it easily made it easier for Hanzo to kind of pin him there. Not to mention the stacks that just come in on these survivors, which makes them harder prey. But this is a really good play coming in from GK, making sure that they're in position to go for that save right away. Hanzo was not anticipating that, but nonetheless, it's all good. He was able to get that hit off Sloth Top right away. Sloth Top, of course, going to try to make his way all the way towards the edge of that map to establish some distance, but still, great play coming in from both sides this far.
Yeah, I was getting a little worried that Hanzo was overextending himself, getting attracted by that priestess, but you know what? He still had the wherewithal to come back to share this spear at the second time. Now, who is going to be playing Rescuer in this round of the Jared's forward?
Oh man.
Point goes out there to priestess away from factory at the lower left side of the screen. Still throw those notes, and Sloth Top is still here in the air. Taking his approach slow and steadily. Oh, he's going for the rush and gets it, but no, unfortunately, no shot there for V8.
Oh man, that is unfortunate and tricky, by the way. Last effort gonna come in once again. V8 gonna try to utilize his utility to deter Hanzo from getting that distance between himself and Sloth Top lessened.
Wow, look at that. The priestess was able to put a long holy tree there. Look at Hanzo playing some cleanup. And the seer is still, just kind of getting away from the vision of this very focused violinist. Now the notes
good priority. Agreed, and good priority coming in from Hanzo here. And oh man, unfortunate for Sloth Top. Great connection of that Sonata though. There wasn't any other route that Sloth Top could have gone except forward. And in that case, Hanzo just got a great pincer in. That's going to be Sloth Top getting out of here, back to the manor. 3 survivors remaining, but luckily they were able to get the up on forward. Let's see how GK deals with this.
He's still focused on, just guarding that side of factory. Or you attracting him just so that he'll be able to get a lot of attention away from V8 because he is the one that is half-life. But Hanzo's still looking for him. V8's still hiding around the structures. Will Hanzo be able to snipe him out? You can see the priestess pushing that objective, and Articuno, we have one cipher remaining.
Yeah, and this is so hard. Hanzo really throwing out those rhapsodies there to try to deter GK, just to make the chase all the more easier for him. V8, of course, looks like we'll try to do what he can. Oh, beautiful placement of that Sonata right now, predicting V8 going over that window. Again, like you said, Poch, it's all about having that forethought, the prediction almost of where these survivors are going, and Hanzo just read V8 like a book there.
That was a really well placed note. I hope that gets on the highlight because that was long distance, very precise. Now shifting his attention before you, that Cypher looked pretty primed over at Shaq, and he's really putting on those powers. Skyfall going for that save and able to rescue him.
Yeah, and oh man, just when V8 was attempting to get out of range there, unfortunately Skyfall has to be careful though, gets a whack on the head himself, but not before V8 is sent back onto this rocket chair. And still halfway to go. That's a little bit of breathing room for GK, but things are just getting monumentally complicated. Luckily though, they have one Cypher remaining, so it's still manageable, but they really have to play their cards right here because there's a lot of things that can go wrong. But oh, they get the pop!
They do excellent pop there. Hanzo had a well-placed note, but you know what? The Gravekeeper was just like, you know what? I don't care about your notes. I'm just going to pop this Cypher. And now shifting his attention to For You, because For You is trying to open that. Just going to play some cleanup here, just getting rid of those pallets, while For You has to do the job of buying time for their teammates.
Yeah, Hanzo has to be a bit careful here because there's a lot of ways For You can still be slippery in the midst of this chase. But oh, you know what? It doesn't matter to Hanzo. He was able to land that hit right away.
And mind you, Articona, he does have teleport. Are we going to see a 2-2? Is Hanzo going to play it safe and just camp out here? No, he wants to go and look for the rest of the survivors. They are over there on the other side of the exit gate, while we see the Gravekeeper just burrow his way down. I believe it's going to be a 2-2. We see the survivors exit, and I believe this is GG.
Wow,
The lead for his team.
Yeah, it's interesting that 72S does decide to bring Bloody Queen. I mean, no arguments there, though.
Someone right outside of Factory, and I believe the Gravekeeper made his way up there. 72S wanting to find the most optimal target, I believe, is the Mechanic.
Yeah, luckily, though, for 7H, it's gonna be the first time, at least in this series, where we see a hunter not spat out Mechanic first stop. It will instead be this Priestess, but Nenozateb has a lot of ways to be slippery here. So let's go ahead and see. 72S decides to go for the gap closer, and oh man, this is out there, unfortunately.
And that's what the Priestess brings to the table. Just able to be very slippery in these tight corners, to be able to use her holy keys to get out of those situations. Mirror cooldown is going to be done. 72S propping up that mirror once it hits 0. Nenozateb is on the hot tail of this Bloody Queen, and the Bloody Queen will strike. First down for 72S.
Yeah, that was a great call coming in from 72S here, especially since Nenozateb was literally nearly against the wall. So it's much more easier for Bloody Queen to get a pincer off of that position before Priestess could get to the next area where there are structures to work with. But that was such a long span of ground that the Priestess had to cover. So definitely a decent start here for 72S at the end of it.
We see that the Gravekeeper is going to burrow, and let's see if 72S can be able to still maintain this this momentum that he has. Gravekeeper takes the hit, and we're going to see a 3 Priestess, but she's still kiting around this real estate. Pops up the mirror, and still the Priestess getting away from the site. Excellent movement on Nenozateb.
Yeah, that was great here. 72S took a whack on his structure, which is why it took him just a bit of a longer while to recover. But you know what? It's all good. All good in this case. Nenozateb falls, and that's just 72S making the most of the situation. I will say, though, that the rest of 7H is making really good use of their time. 3 ciphers remaining. Decent progress that we're seeing from the survivors.
Yeah, they're really making 72S. As the Priestess contains the time, they do want to push those ciphers. Now we see who is going to make the approach. It's Himawari with the Mechanic. So now at the area of the Priestess, we're going to see a foot rate, 72S, not using the mirror. Oh, excellent. Oh, Liquid, no, was baited out, and look at that. Priestess going to eat that last effort, and that Mechanic does have a Tide Turner. Nenozateb going to try to buy as much time as possible for his teammates while we see the Mechanic try to push that objective.
Yeah, it's a good done deal here for Nenozateb in which case. But look at this, just continuing to buy the time that he can. But this is going to be his third, so that will result to 7H having one down. But as we've been saying, the Cypher progress has been pretty good. So, Priestess's lifespan, maximize in which case, I would say.
True. And we want to see if someone can break the tide of these two teams. We can actually continue. Oh, wow. SPS takes a hit there and now transitions and rotates to the factory side. Hopefully there's no ciphers there. While we see the other members of 7H just trying to heal up their resources and try to extend their life as they try to get out of Leo's memory.
Yeah, good. Good mind here by SBST, in which case, just being that small window of a distraction, Will 72S realizing that he doesn't want to go full commit on that first officer when there's other targets that would be much more optimal in this case. As we see, he just kind of turns, but will he turn that corner to find Momo? Yes, he will.
Wow, look at that. Out of that throw thing. And now Momo really has to find time here for his teammates to push those objectives. In the mechanic stall, and my goodness, how that doll is being fallen is so close to being primed.
Ooh, yeah, that was a little bit unfortunate, but here we go. 72S gonna try to break some ground here, gets the distance closed out between himself and Mumu, and another whack comes in. But again, the time being bought out here, it's taken quite a number of seconds for the Hunter to nail his second target. But you know what? This is just all the more great of a window of opportunity for 7H here.
That's true. There's still stuck in this two ciphers remaining. So let's see if Brave will buy enough time for them to be able to get that one cipher, even get the execute. Brave will be falling down, and now we're going to be seeing a shared Brave mechanic trying to rotate around the map to find the optimal cipher to push. SPST is working on one, so it's not far along until we see another pop cipher. As you see, the goal side of the game, one is almost prime.
Oh, there you go. This is something that 7H can very much heavily afford here. Ooh, mirror image comes in with Himawari within the distance. I mean, it would be fine at this point since there is only one cipher remaining. But Mechanic not going to have the easiest time here dealing with the Bloody Queen.
That's true, and oh my god, excellent stuff there. I mean, that scramble that was able to get tie turner. And now 72S is heading around the shack area to try to find the target. Himawari is still hanging out in this area. Let's see. Oh no, moved on. Okay, my
sneaky.
Excellent stuff. And you see the lower left side, the first officer is healing up Brave. So wow. Oh,
but not before Himawari suddenly gets himself within vision. But you know what? Check out the bottom left corner of the map. This is still very dangerous for 7H. That cipher still has quite a bit of a way to go, and it's not going to be before long that 72S gets the close off between himself and this mechanic. But you know what? On the flip side, Himawari has been very slippery, I gotta say.
Yes, he has been. I believe now he's able to find a syringe, and now he's healing up. You see 3 healthy survivors, and now you see over here at the corner that the Bloody Queen was able to find the cipher they've been priming, and over at the left side of the the Bloody Queen is the dungeon. So really scary situation for both these teams, right?
Yeah. Good call though, coming in from 72S, knowing very well that he spent a little bit too much time on Himawari, and that just instantly gives 7H a lot of time to have worked on that cipher. But luckily 72S did decide to deflect from that mechanic when he did, and here you go, he spots out SPST here. Pincer is easily feasible though, but luckily that is first officer, so he does have that utility to buy him a little bit more time, not make it easier for 72S to get the hit just yet.
Yep, that after image of that pocket watch, but no, he waits no time without the first officer. And look at this, Himawari running out of there. 72S tries to teleport to snipe out that mechanic, but she was able to find her way out. We might see a 3-1. First officer is trying to push open that exit gate, but then Nopomomo is still at the other side here. 72S does have detention, so it is, it's any which way Article.
Yeah, but look at that. The gate is open. 7H. They can go for a 3-man here. SPST. He's near the dungeon. 72S is slowly leering towards him, though. 72S actually knowing very well where this is, too. But, he's a bit confused, though. Who's he gonna go for?
Oh, wow. He snipes him out, but look at this SPS. So just waiting there, actually waiting for his comrade to give him the go signal. They are constantly communicating, ladies and gentlemen. 72S rotating away from the shack exit and still monitoring as much as possible. There are 3 possible exits for these survivors. Again, 7H came to play, and they want to be able to set the pace and actually break the lead between GK and them. You see that if you move and we're an IVC and 72S, not wasting any time, going with the textbook violinist. So this is a very interesting lineup on the side of 7H.
With the picks. So let's see if it'll lead to fruition for them, because the chase is on as 72S finds his first target in SPST.
SPST, the first officer, will he burn that first pocket watch right away to get enough time? He does, and 72S doesn't want to waste time. Lower left side of the screen sees the Explorer looking for those pages, that Lilliput map, the Lilliput book, able to, I guess we got to be able to squint our eyes or to find that Explorer as well.
Exactly. You know what? I will say this. As long as Explorer isn't the first pickoff for 72S, then I think that's already a huge thing that 7H is working with. And as we can see, 72S isn't shy of deviating from his first target, because the ideal at the end of the day would be, but
this is the ideal, but will he be able to find the Explorer? Oh, he can't find those tracks on the floor. He finds him, and 72S making sure he's going to be able to down this Explorer, Articuno.
Yeah, and here you go. The Sonatas are going to pop. Can 72S look for the right connection? No, he didn't even need to. Just the presence of that one note was enough pressure for Not Mumu to think of what direction he goes. And there you have it. Oh, man, as I was saying, 72S, the ideal target would have been Explorer, the quick switcheroo, and his call was Aurora.
Yeah, and just to reiterate that he really wanted to get that Explorer to hamper the Cypher Rush. The smallest can be the most biggest dangers in this matchup. And just to quote one of our fellow casters, saying that the bee is the most dangerous animal out there.
Oh my gosh.
And he knows that the Explorer is a big trump card, so he's not wasting any time. SPST now, he has to play a guessing game because SPST made that save, and he's gonna lock in with the Explorer. Not sure if he knows this, but he picked a great choice, still locking in with that first officer.
Ooh, there you go. Nice work of the Sonata positioning there. Momo, of course, naturally going to try to put himself in a corner farthest away from a rocket chair. Bit of a way to go. So, nonetheless, that will be second time around for Kurt Frank on that chair.
We still have yet to see the coordinator make her save. We did see the first officer. And now you see 72S just a fully fed a fully fed violinist just being able to get those Cypher Rushes down and see how he's able to hamper any of these guys going for those objectives. We still have 4 Cyphers left, so it's still quite a while before they're able to really push those objectives. Now he's shifting his attention. This Explorer is going back to the manor, but he was able to buy some time for his teammates.
Yeah, oh man, such a high risk, high reward scenario that 7H is working with right now. Coordinator, first officer, as well as here 4 Cyphers remaining, not to mention. I think they did get some decent progress though in the midst of that Explorer chase. It is just unfortunate though that terror shot though onto Nino's attempt.
Beautiful blink there for Nino's to bait Nino's attempt to being able to jump that window. So great play on 72S. He is going all out, but look at this, him awarded with the flare gun shot, and now buying a lot of time for his teammates. Nino's attempt is still down, and 72S is going to change his priorities to share this seer.
Yeah, meanwhile, it looks like first officer is keeping busy by making sure that they work on those ciphers. They still have quite a bit of a way to scale as far as these survivors go, and the question is who is going to go on rescue duty, because coordinator no gun to work with anymore, so she might want to look into whatever other tools she can find But yeah, it's super hard right now.
Oh, that Cypher was so close to being prime. And look at this, Himawari, it's going to eat that note. And oh, wow, excellent just movement there. And now SPST rotating to try to save his teammate. But I believe he has one pocket watch left. He will try to use that and try to make that one count. As Articuno mentioned, this coordinator doesn't have her flare gun anymore, so it's going to be tough for her to make that save.
Yeah, and like, if anything, the person you ideally want to see go for a save here is SPST, which he is trying to attempt, but 72S gets a small glimpse of him as he tries to rotate towards a different side. We'll try to go for the rescue now. Has to be careful though, Sonatas are coming in. Oh, that was a great position though, but not before the pop comes in though, as Nezo's attempt falls once again.
Yeah, great placement at Sonata. Even though that the first officer did use that pocket watch, was able to nullify that save. 4 Cyphers left, Articuno. The dungeon is still hidden.
Yeah, looks like 72S found the plus ultra beast in him. Doesn't want what happened during round 2 to hinder his performance. If anything, it lit a fire under his what's a nice way to put it?
Under
his
him.
behind. I didn't want to say any other bad way to put it, but you know what? There's a tab. Skyrockets out of there. First offer was already down. Didn't have enough time to heal though.
Yeah, and the coordinator is able to pop that Cypher, so we're going to be seeing the dungeon. The dungeon is revealed. So the best thing that they can go for is a 2-man out, but how things are looking now, it's looking like, you know what, this coordinator has to look for that dungeon for her to be able to tie things up, but he is going to leave that officer down. Speaking
of that dungeon, we get a glimpse of it towards the left side of 72S, and Himawari is all the way on the other side of that map.
It's looking... Again, this is one of the advantages and disadvantages of Ever Sleeping Town. How big this map is, and how, you know what, he's being able to really the hunter being able to, you know, go on foot to the other side. And now we're gonna see a patroller switch by 72S. Caps out, just gets the coordinator in the ankles there, and now Himawari, excellent stuff, throwing down that pallet, moving to another one, but 72S is ready. First officer is still bleeding out, and as Articuno mentioned, that dungeon is on the other side of the map.
Yes, sirree. Himawari, it's super duper tricky. Here comes the Sonata. Will it reach the Rhapsody? And okay, the connect does its trick. Ladies and gents, 72S pulling off all the stops in this game, and oh my gosh.
Wow. He's just waiting, because I believe the coordinator still has 1 heal left, so I'm not sure how this is going, but 72S has 2 down survivors, 3 Cyphers left, and it's looking like a GG here, but I don't know. I think there's I'm not sure if the first officer was able to heal by himself, but this coordinator can still be able to save herself and pick herself back up.
Yeah, 72S trying to read out the situation here.
Not celebrating just yet. He doesn't want to call it a GG yet. He wants to be definitive with this decision, and I don't blame him, because 7H was really able to push them to their limits and really take the fight to them. Let's see how he's going to be able to do this. I think he's waiting for the first officer to pop back up, or he's waiting for one of these guys. And the coordinator does pop back up, and now we're going to see another chase coming out of 72S.
Yeah, and that kind of gives 72S the guarantee as far as what the first officer's situation is right now in this game, where, you know what, probably first officer did heal himself on his own earlier, so I don't have to worry about him anymore, and now it's just down to Himawari.
Yep, and now he's lining up these shots while this patroller is going to do everything he can for him to be able to hamper the movement of this coordinator, and that is the second time this coordinator will be falling. And this could potentially be GG. We're just waiting. Again, correct me if I'm wrong, ladies and gentlemen, but I think the first officer already picked himself back up.
Yeah. I love how calculated 72S is, not wanting to let anything escape him. He's just waiting for first officer to expire before he sends Himawari to the rocket chair.
Yeah, that's a great way to put it. Calculated. Really not, you know, extending anything, because we're seeing the healing progress of this coordinator, 87%. First officer is close to being expired already, and he just wants to make sure that he gets the 5-point victory, because the chair is right there.
Yes, and oh man, that is pretty huge. I think. Okay, yeah, that at this point, you know what, 72S is confident. Oh, but wait a minute. SBST, take note of that position near the dungeon,
That's true.
though.
That's true. Oh my god. Wow. By the time he was able to do that, he was able... Oh, no.
Okay.
My apologies. He was down. So, again, forward Skyfall with that Gravekeeper, a seer by 4U, and Hanzo. Now, this is where we can compare. We're going to compare Hanzo's violinist with 72S.
Be slippery, and it's a good... I think in this particular case where you just need to make sure that Hanzo doesn't get a perfect score, having a composition this slippery is it's a good way to live up to that win condition. That's for sure.
Yeah, and as you mentioned, they do have the tools to extend their life as long as they can. Slothop, the acrobat, is going to be seen first. Okay, puts the Sonata note. Oh, wow, excellent jump to avoid the string of fate there. Slothtop extending the chase here, moving to 11. And now oh, wow, an owl to save him. And for him to extend this is actually huge on the side of GK.
Holy cow, GK's coordination is super on point within the first minute of this game. But you know what? Hanzo had enough. Wants to potentially eject the seer from that owl usage, if he can manage it.
Yes, because the seer does not have an owl. He does have a quick down unless he's able to extend his kiting time for him to build up that rage. 4U will eat that hit. Again, those notes are there for the hunter to be able to cut off the survivors for them to use this real estate.
Yeah, oh man, Hanzo trying to predict the direction this year was going there, just throwing out some Rhapsodies. There you go. Luckily, he is able to get the connect. This should make it easier for Hanzo to get that last hit, and there you have it.
We see a down seer. The acrobat did a lot of work at the opening part, but we still have 5 ciphers left, Articuno, but not for long. The Gravekeeper, very ironic, he's at the graveyard, popping that cipher here at Ever Sleeping Town, and 4 ciphers remain.
I like Hanzo's position. I believe there was a rocketeer that might have been a bit nearer, but I think it's a great call that Hanzo brings it to a place where he can keep one of these ciphers in check.
True. And now he's actually putting the pressure on Slothtop, because Slothtop, I believe, was working on that cipher, and now he's forcing him to extend himself and go for that save. The Rhapsody note will be put into place. Oh, jumps it just for some distraction, and we'll see Hanzo is playing the patience game. Ooh, baits a hit, but then we see a clean rescue coming out of the acrobat.
Oh, fantastic. But there you go. Last rescue is going to come in. Oh, man. I swear. Like, this tram.
He's the second hunter in this map. But look, he didn't even need to pay attention because the last effort was popped, and the seer will be falling once again. I believe this tram needs to have a highlight of its own.
Yeah, like, play of the game right there. To help 7H's cause. But you know what? It's all good. This is only for you second time on the rocket chair. So this is still a lot of leeway that GK is working with. Again, ladies and gents, they don't need to go for perfection here. If we're talking about GK, they just need that one survivor. They can afford one, but of course, ideally, they want to set the ground for them to be as advantageous as possible. Here we have a good shift here, putting GK, rather V8 towards rescue duty. 4U, of course, gonna try to establish distance, but it's gonna be so hard. There's not much terrain to work with here.
Yep, and now V8 though in the area. Hanzo has to be careful when he's gonna pick up this seer, because the seer just putting miles between him and that rocket chair. Now Hanzo has the arduous task of carrying this seer, and we see V8 there. Just, I don't know, he's gonna try to go for a tackle. Will he be able to make it in time though? Because Hanzo is approaching that rocket chair, and he is gonna see it. V8 is nowhere in sight, and as you mentioned, Articona, they don't have to go for perfect. They just need to go for that tie, just for them to be able to, just to secure that victory.
Yes, and this is gonna be a tricky scenario for Hanzo. Look at this. Tries to go onto Rhapsody onto one of these ciphers. He was trying to predict if GK might have been working on that, but that isn't the case. And this is smart coming in from GK. Looks like they're already rotating towards that one cipher, and Hanzo making the call to maybe go for a top, but no. He sniffs out another potential player in this game that might have rotated toward that cipher, and he does find V8.
I just love how spread out GK is, keeping the attention of Hanzo all over the place in this map. And V8 just buying a lot of time because lower left side, I believe that's the corner house. The Acrobat is working to pop that Cypher, but unfortunately the forward will get hit and he will get that Rhapsody note, and we have a downed forward.
Oh man, that was very, very well played there by Hanzo. V8 had the right idea there, was trying to predict the Sonata positioning, took a hit, but unfortunately wasn't able to anticipate the direction of where that where Hanzo's ability was going to go. But still, one Cypher remaining. All GK has to do, if they want to continue to work with 3 survivors, is time that rescue along with that Cypher pop perfectly. That Cypher is near in a position. Slothop has to be a little bit more patient here. On to dodge that Sonata. Great job at making sure that he's away from that note. Takes a hit though. Just need to wait for that Cypher.
True, and now Slothop falls, but then the last Cypher gets popped, and he is going to throw the pallet on Hanzo. Now this is the end game. He's still carrying Blink, trying to look for a survivor to down because it is the end game, Articuno.
Yes, great setup here for GK. They have all the right cards in their hand, and for Hanzo, not gonna lie, but getting 3 survivors out, especially on this wide of a map, is a tall order for him to deal with.
Yeah, let's see if he'll be able to rise to the occasion. The Gravekeeper is about to open that exit gate, and an Acrobat is in the area. Slothtop, though, gonna eat that Blink hit, and Skyfall is already in that burrow state for him to secure his out here in the matchup. Forward and V8 are going out, and that is